Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Apostate Weekly. I'm your host, James.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week, we are going to be discussing the governing body update number 2 and all the things that, how did he put it? The governing body has decided that witnesses can now do. So
Wow.
let's roll that intro and see what the governing body has decided for you.
Exciting.
All right. That extra long intro gave me time to queue up a video that the part of the video I was searching for the show today. So it's good.
Working hard behind the scenes, you know?
I know, right? We're always working hard for you, everybody, to try to get the latest and greatest news to you. So you're not. I don't hear you, Ryan.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw your mouth moving, so you know.
I always mouth words to people.
She's already getting mouthy with people.
Right?
That's what
I
she's
have
really
my
saying.
own conversations. When you're talking, I'm having my own conversations. I'm like replying to people.
Well, I mean, usually when I'm doing that, I'm talking to myself because, you know, I need expert advice. That's why I talk to myself.
Right. Okay. Okay. Moving along.
Moving along. So, governing body update number 2. What a whopper of a update this was. And all the new light that witnesses now have.
Starting the year off with a bang, I tell you what.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, first of all, it was men can wear beards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, men don't have to wear ties or jackets.
Right? Women can wear slacks.
Yeah. I mean, hello. Like,
I mean, those are things that I wished for when I was in the organization. I wished I could do that. I didn't understand why I couldn't. So
yeah.
I'm happy for them, but I'm also not happy for them.
Well, I remember as a kid seeing there were some women that I saw wearing dress pants to the Kingdom Hall, and they were always looked down upon. There was always that air of judgment that you had on them for wearing that kind of clothing when it was perfectly fine.
Ken!
Ken.
Ken had a beard.
So now his face is smooth as a baby's butt.
And he got divorced from his beard.
Yeah.
At the same time.
So by divorce, do you mean like laser removal so it never comes back again? Because usually in a divorce, that's what you want. You'd never want them to come back again.
Yeah, that's what he did. It was permanent hair, beard removal. He's out of the closet.
In more ways
and we
than
love
one.
you and we're happy for you. God, that must be shit to live like that. Oh my goodness. Well, I know about it because I lived like that, questioning what was wrong with me if I thought somebody was attractive who wasn't a male, you know?
Right.
Wild stuff.
And really, there's nothing wrong with you. It was just what was wrong was what you were taught.
Exactly. But when you don't know any better and you don't have any kind of instinct because they've been not beaten out of you. Well, maybe some people they were beaten out of, but you know, they're just nagged out of you. Anytime you get in touch with your gut and you try to speak from the heart, it's like, what is wrong with you? You don't love Jehovah?
And absolutely, Emily, the organization is behind the times, and they're
falling behind.
They don't know how to catch up properly either. So this is what we're seeing with the governing body, and what they're doing is reactive type of behavior, not proactive behavior, because they're reacting to the numbers dwindling. They're reacting to the Norway trial that we've just been talking about the last several weeks.
Mhm.
This is all reactionary measures that they are taking. They are none of these things are ahead of its time in any way.
And that's how we know that it's run by men, has nothing to do with God and having guidance from God. It's just men
Yes,
self-correcting as any organization would do. All organizations and religions evolve over time for many different reasons, and Jehovah's Witnesses are not impervious to that.
exactly. So remember why Norway went after the religious status of the Jehovah's Witnesses. One of the biggest reasons was of how they treat disfellowshipped children, right?
Mm, exactly, yeah,
And
top of the list.
not only how they treat them, but also what the children have to go through while to get to that point. A
Mhm.
committee meeting of 3 elders who have to sit there in a room alone with that child. That child is alone, and in that room with these 3 older men having to confess their sins and answer all sorts of wrong questions, right?
Yeah, disgusting personal questions.
I'm gonna play this first clip here that I have queued up for today from the governing body update number 2, and I can pretty much guarantee you this is the reason why this statement by Jeffrey, is it Jackson or Sanderson? I forget who that is.
It was
Sanderson.
Sanderson, mhm.
But why this what he's saying here is because of Norway, not because they got new light from God.
Right.
So, all right. Can you see it? And
Yeah,
then
mhm.
I'll go ahead and play it.
What about baptized minors, those under 18 years of age, who engage in serious wrongdoing? Under our current arrangement, such a baptized minor, along with his Christian parents, must meet with a committee of elders. Under our new arrangement, 2 elders will meet with the minor and his Christian parents. The elders will find out what steps the parents have already taken to help their child come to repentance. If the minor has a good attitude and the parents are reaching him, the 2 elders might decide that it isn't necessary to take the matter any further. Of course, the elders will occasionally check with the parents to make sure that the minor is getting the help he needs. However, what if a baptized minor unrepentantly persists in a wrong course? In that case, a committee of elders would meet with him along with his Christian parents. The governing body is confident that these adjustments reflect Jehovah's desire to lead sinners to repentance. He wants them to come to their senses and escape from the snare of the devil. He does not desire anyone to be destroyed, but he desires all to attain to repentance. Let's move on to our second scripture.
Okay. So that was just a right there that now parents can be in on a judicial committee with a minor. Why haven't they been doing this forever?
How has this not been from the start? Why are grown men meeting with underage children, people who don't have their whereabouts with them, right? They don't have their functioning faculty, they don't have the ability to say no, and you're
Yeah.
gonna put them in a room with 3 grown men who have 0 training
Yeah.
on how to handle these kind of matters, these personal matters.
Well, I can see this going one of two ways now, especially with the parents being in the room now. One way is you're still going to have the elders that are going to sit there and try to ask all the inappropriate questions and do just as they've always done with everybody, right? And what
Mhm.
that's going to do in turn is going to start waking parents up of these children and going, "Hang on a second. This is crap. we're not going to sit here and take this. And they're going to storm out and leave and never go back to the Kingdom Hall. Another thing this could do as well is now that the elders have to sit in front of this child's parents, it can then make them restrain themselves and think before they act a little bit more as far as what questions they ask. And so therefore the proceedings are going to be more gentle and more loving, really, the way it should
Maybe.
be anyways.
Maybe.
And if the child doesn't get disfellowshipped or whatever because of that, it's going to keep people in because they're going to be better. So it's going to go both ways here. I don't think it's going to just be one or the other. It's going to go at least both of those ways.
Yeah, they're showing their hand, really, in the way they talk. They're kind of stupid like that.
And what I really hope is that there are parents that go back there and they see what is going on and they go, no, you don't ask my child these questions. That's not appropriate for you. You need to stop right there and then either move on and apologize or storm out. So there's going to be so many different things that's going to happen as a result of this. It's crazy.
Just think of all the personal questions that they're going to be asking these children, like about sex and touching yourself, all in front of, your parents colluding with them. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's just levels. It's when you think, okay, maybe this could be better. Like maybe this could also be worse. Don't know.
It could be absolutely more traumatizing for the child. Absolutely.
Yeah. To have your parents in there agreeing with them and like forcing you to answer questions that you're saying I'm not comfortable with. Ugh.
Because then there's always going to be those parents that would go along with the whole thing and want the answers to all those questions because they think it's, Jehovah's way of doing things. So, you better answer that question there, Johnny, or, you're going to get disfellowship because of it. So now you're telling it to 3 elders and your parents, and then you got to go home with your parents after having answered all those questions.
Ugh. You got to ride home. Think of that uncomfortable car ride.
I mean, there's just layers of trauma upon layers of trauma that could be added onto these children. So it's not, in one way, it could be better. In other ways, it could be a whole lot worse. But
yeah,
it's going to go all these ways because we know that we have different elders and
what do you want to say?
No, shut up. No.
We are talking. The adults are talking here. Okay. Ryan
you don't
and
get
James.
to put your opinions in on this.
Yeah.
You guys shut up. You don't get to decide shit here.
You have had your time.
Exactly.
Hold up the signs and shut up so we can finish.
That's right. Thank you. Listen, obey, and be blessed.
Do not make me use the hand of God. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just...
These guys, man, they need to be kept in line.
They overstep.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just never know when to shut up and listen, obey, be blessed. But we're going to get a handle on that.
We will. We will. We promise.
Take some time. Yeah. I do think that Tony was probably that's why he was likely targeted, because he was just always on the rampage. I mean, he was always the one one of the ones we were making fun of more often than not because of what would come out of his mouth and his metaphors. Hot dogs, fires. I mean, dude was up for making a damn clown show at the mic, right? Like he would have pulled a rabbit out of his hat if he thought it would have made a point and scared kids like a burnt rabbit.
With a hot dog necklace.
Yeah, I mean, truly, anything terrifying. He would have taken them on a helicopter ride to look at fires and like look at people burning if he could.
Oh, I know.
He'd have some kind of museum full of the tortures that God's going to do to people. I'm surprised they don't have that. And here's how God can destroy you with hellfire. Here's God can rain down balls of burning fire on you.
You ever see that show Black Mirror?
Yes, I love that. I love that.
Remember that? Remember the episode Black Museum?
Oh yeah. Yes.
That would so be Tony's museum right there. All the horrors of Armageddon and everything.
That would
in
be
a museum.
that would be him,
And you could press this
honestly.
button and watch a hologram of it over and over and over and over again.
And then at the end, we get to do it to him.
Yes. For anybody who hasn't seen that show, go
Well,
watch it.
you have to watch it.
It
It's
is
so good.
great.
All of them, I think, are really good, and, if you ask me, a lot of them are real life, we just don't accept, like, we don't realize that it's happening in real life. Like, they're
Yeah,
metaphors for stuff.
it is. It messes with your mind, but at the same time, you're like, I could actually see that happening.
Mhm. Sadly, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I do have another part of the video that I wanted to show people. Do you wanna
Yeah,
do
go
that?
ahead.
Okay, so, actually, do you still have it queued up or no?
Um, I have the part queued up that I played.
Can you move it to the 12-minute mark?
Yeah.
Because it's right there where he starts to talk about I wrote it down. So he starts to talk about how we used to treat disfellowship people and now how how they're going to treat disfellowshipping
Okay.
arrangement now. Ooh,
Okay, here we go.
Congregation. If you're living in an area where you don't know the local elders, please feel free to call or visit the local Kingdom Hall
or
and
don't.
spiritual assistance.
Yeah, don't call them.
Jehovah wants you to come home, and we do too. In keeping with the scriptural admonition at 1 Corinthians 5:11, when a person has been removed from the congregation, we stop keeping company with that person, not even eating with such a man. That means we don't socialize with those who are removed from the congregation. However, that does not mean that a Christian could not invite a disfellowship person to attend a congregation meeting. That disfellowship person could be a relative, a former Bible student, or someone we were close to in the past. How appropriate this adjustment is at this time as we're preparing for the most important meeting of the year, the memorial, which will be held on Sunday, March 24th. What if a disfellowship person comes to a congregation meeting? Under our current arrangement, we don't say a greeting to individuals who've been removed from the congregation. However, the governing body has decided that publishers can use their Bible-trained conscience to decide whether to give a simple greeting and welcome a disfellowshipped individual who attends a congregation meeting.
Let
Oh,
me pause
no.
right there because
This
that's a
is so painful. This is
big
getting
point of
painful.
contention that I have with this as well.
No, go
Because
ahead.
instead of trying to dance around anymore and saying, how they've been inspired or this or that, it's always now the governing body has decided. The governing body has decided. I saw that comment and I have not seen those documents yet, so
Yeah, I need
I
to take a look at that.
I'm not ready to just talk about those. I've heard
If you
about them,
could
but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. So
Yeah, I'd love to. Are you in the Discord? Could you just send me a link if you're in the Discord? And if not, if you wanna join the Discord,
yeah,
you can do
absolutely.
that.
Let's while I'm doing that, we're talking about the Discord. I am going to post the link for the Discord in the comments right now for everybody. So if you'd like to join our Discord at the Apostate Coalition, please join us here at this link.
Join our Discord so you can have discourse. Boop, boop.
That's right. But they completely take any higher power out of it anymore when they used to always attribute it to that. And I thought that was just a very big, important point to bring across for anybody who watches this, especially if you're a witness. The governing body has decided for you. They are deciding your fate, not your God. It's the governing body.
Right.
Your fallible, errant governing body.
And they tell you how it's done, that they pray about it and they meditate on it.
Yes.
So there's nothing to do with God's hand coming down and directing them on what's the right thing to do, because this new light proves that does not work. That's not a thing. Because even if you have God's hand directing you, you still get it wrong. But
Yep.
yet you're going to take this into a personal situation with a child or whomever, it doesn't matter, but children especially, and then act as if you're getting guidance from Jehovah.
And then on top of all that, whenever they make a mistake, they don't have to apologize either.
I want to make a Jehovah Ouija board.
A Ouija board.
A Ouija board.
Ouija board.
I love it. Oh my God, you guys, like we have to make a Ouija board. All right, Jonathan.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Jonathan and I already have another game in the works.
Oh,
So this is top secret stuff, everybody. Don't tell nobody.
Sounds like fun.
So we already got enough to do. Anyways, let me continue this video here and let's see how we can greet a disfellowship person now.
Yes, because this is really going to make your day. Warm your
Yes.
heart.
Hi. So good to see you here.
Thank you.
While we wouldn't have an
Oh, that's it. Hi. Good to see you here.
Not even a hug.
Yeah.
And
notice,
the smug way that the husband and the wife like look at each other, like they cock their head like, oh, we just did something good. Like, fuck you did.
but notice too that the wife didn't say a word. It was only the husband.
Oh yeah, did she? She just kind of
She just sat there and smirked and shook her hand and that was it. Didn't say a word.
I thought she did say something. Well, anyway. Oh my goodness.
I'll go back and look.
No, it doesn't. It's just, that's not a greeting.
No, it's not. It's
fellowshipped
You know,
individual
just-
who attends a congregation meeting.
Hi. So good to see you here.
Oh gosh, thank you. Oh, she didn't. It was just her. Oh,
yeah.
what the f-
Yeah.
oh. Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that she didn't say a word. Oh.
And then he goes on to say after that you're not supposed to have a conversation with them, just like usual. So this changes absolutely nothing.
This is like walking into a business office and you just happen to greet the people who are sitting in the office. What would
Now,
be the difference?
I got this queued up too. I'm hoping I'm at the right spot, but I want to show this other clip from another video. This is the convention video in 2016, about the girl who got disfellowshipped. Okay.
Okay.
So this video here, this girl said something completely different about what a greeting would have done for her as a disfellowship person. Okay.
Right.
So let's go ahead and watch this clip here. I'm hoping I got it as close to the right point as possible because I found it in like the last seconds before the show. So I'm gonna play it and let's see what she has to say.
Mom and Dad saw that they needed to be loyal, just like Aaron. They loved me and wanted me to come back to Jehovah. I tried to contact them. I just wanted to talk and to hear their voice. I missed being with my family. And they thought about reaching out to me. But they knew that if they had associated with me, even a little, just to check on me, that small dose of association might have satisfied me.
That's it right there.
It could have made me think that there was no need to return to Jehovah.
See, what a contrast, what a complete contrast
My.
from then to what they have now.
That is a stark polarization of where they are today
Yes.
and that. Because a simple greeting might have not forced you to come back home, but now that greeting is going to be what keeps. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Mind games.
Exactly. And this is one of the first things I thought of when I saw this. I'm like, what? Exactly, Gen Z. Hypocrites. Damn right, they are hypocrites.
100%.
And they are two-faced, gaslighting, manipulative, narcissistic assholes is what they are
Yep.
for
Through and
doing this.
through. Yeah.
Because you got this video here telling you if you give just a little bit of greeting or effort to your own child, they're going to stay out of the religion. But now you say, well, if you say hi to them, it'll be more warming and welcoming, and make them feel better. Like, which is it, Watchtower? Pick one.
And look, again, I'm always going to be happy if people who are stuck inside this religion has an easier go of it. Yes, I might be jaded. I can admit that. I'm jaded. I wish that it was like that for me. Absolutely 100%. But at the end of the day, these like softening, it's all just a sham, right? The religion itself is not going to soften. This is just the look on the outside, like the soft candy shell. But you bite into that sucker, and your teeth are probably gonna break in two.
Oh
'Cause it's
yeah.
hard AF.
Do you? This is I don't have it queued up or nothing, but
What comparison, Jonathan? I gotta watch your video. Oh,
do you
y'all
know?
make sure you go watch Jonathan's video because he gave a nice take on it too. I'm certain. I just need to watch it, and I'm gonna.
Did you ever see the movie The Wedding Singer with Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Remember when he sat there and he was on his guitar and he sang about his ex
Yeah.
in one part of the movie? So
Yeah.
this is the part I think of when it comes to Watchtower in the song. He goes, but it all was bullshit.
Oh,
It was a goddamn joke. And
right.
when I think of you, and he says his girlfriend's name, but I say governing body, I hope you fucking
Nothing
choke.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the song I think of when I see this kind of bullshit right here.
It pretty much just makes me want to scream into the void.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of good of happiness because I'm glad that somebody who we know and love said that their wife was looking to buy pants now because she's so excited that she can wear pants to the assemblies and to the Kingdom Hall and da 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 da. And if you ask me, I think that there's even a deeper reasoning behind that, but we'll see if that comes to fruition.
All right. So I know this isn't part of the news, but I want to talk about this because it actually relates to it. So I went to a funeral yesterday for my wife's uncle. Okay.
Oh,
She wasn't very close to him. I wasn't very close to him, but
okay.
most of her side of the family, except for her parents, are not witnesses. Okay. And I had a lot of anxiety going into it because I thought, her parents were going to be there. And I was right. Her parents were there, right?
Right.
So we get there and we didn't even recognize them, first of all. Like, we looked right by them and didn't recognize them. Well, my wife finally did recognize who they were after a couple minutes. And she went up and she went up to her parents and goes, hey, I didn't even recognize you guys, right? They didn't say a word to her. Not a word. They didn't give her a hug. They didn't do a goddamn thing to her to show that, that's
Have
her
they not heard the new
daughter.
light?
And what's funny is, so I dressed up pretty nicely. I wore nice dress pants, a suit, and everything. Her dad shows up in blue jeans and a button-down shirt.
So he knows that there's some new light brewing because
Well, he also had a full beard on, so he followed that new light to the T.
okay. So
You
he's staying
know,
apprised of what's going on.
right.
But
But like for him to not even say hello or anything to
right?
his own daughter,
That's messed up.
especially in light of all this shit right here. I'm calling you out right now. If you ever see this, I'm calling you out because you're an asshole for doing that to
100.
your daughter and treating her that way. Fuck
Yeah,
you
that's
all the
disgusting.
way.
I feel bad for
Because
Crystal.
and what's worse, it gets worse almost here too. So the funeral, even though it had a pastor and had a lot of religious overtones, and I'm not religious at all anymore, that part drove me nuts. But the funeral was actually a very beautiful funeral. It was the best one I've ever seen because people got to go up and say something about the deceased, and you got to hear more about the person rather than a propaganda survey of it. Thank you, Aaron. And so it really was a nice service overall.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, of course, they had the recession at the end where you get to go up to the grieving family and give your condolences to them and walk out or stay for the reception that they had afterwards too, to eat and whatever. Her parents were way in head of the line of us because they let us out by rows. So we had to go by rows, and
Right.
so it's not like we tried to rush up and stand next to them or nothing because we were a couple rows behind them. And they went up, said their thing to the widow, and they bolted out of that place so goddamn fast it was ridiculous. I didn't even see them. So we got up to the family, our turn finally, gave the widow a hug and our condolences and everything. Well, my mother-in-law's, because there was two of my mother-in-law's sisters there, okay? One of the sisters was whose husband was passed away, and then the other sister was there. She's just there. So I got to talk to the other sister, the one that was, not the widow. And I love this lady. Okay. She was telling us a story about how when Crystal was younger, like a baby, that she was over at their house and her dad had just had dinner and the mom was just about ready to sit down and eat with Crystal at the time. Of course, she was a baby. Well, her dad asked for a drink and she was about ready to get up and go get it. And her sister goes, "Get your own fucking drink. You had your dinner already. You should get up and get your own fucking drink." These are her words exactly.
Damn.
And my mother-in-law, being the person she is, "Oh, no. It's okay. I'll go get it. She's that kind of person. But she nailed what kind of person my father-in-law was all those years ago.
Yeah. I mean, but that is how I grew up. Like, that is what I saw with my jiddu and my grandmother, and even not a lot with my mom was a bit more of a rebel. Like, she would kind of fight back against that, but she still would try to be submissive. And just watching, like, I hated watching that because it was so confusing to me to see two people who are literally just mental equals arguing about who was supposed to be in charge. Like, isn't this a partnership? Like, that screwed my view of marriage and how it was supposed to be. It should be a partnership, equal say, not one person bossing you. That's, if you want to fuck your mom, go fuck her. Like, please, like, if that's what you want to do, but I'm not your fucking mother. I'm your wife. I'm your partner. Like, we should be best friends, not somebody you boss around. You're not my boss. That is absolutely disgusting treatment from
It
an
is.
equal. And I could not live like that.
And
Well, I used to, but I can't no more.
and I've seen that treatment firsthand from him myself. So it's nothing new. I just wanted to point that out because the way her aunt called it out was just brilliant. And
Yeah, I love it.
and we talked a little bit. She's like, "Oh yeah, I know it's a cult. I know they're in a cult. But what can I do? And I get that. There's not much she can do, but it is nice to see that we still have some side of the family that we can talk to and be with. And I hope in the future going forward, we get to know them better because we never got to really know them that well because of the religion.
See, that's so sad. But yeah, I hope that you can connect despite that.
So, anyways, I thought that was relevant, especially in light of everything going on with these governing body updates,
God.
So, everybody's going to apply this how they want to still. If they want to shun you like before, they're going to shun you like before. Or if
Yeah.
they want to use it as an excuse to be more humane towards you, they're going to.
I think that people should, us ex-JWs should be expecting a few different behaviors. We're gonna see people reaching out to us who haven't in a while. Um, and their expectation is probably gonna be like, "Well, why aren't you happy to come back? Because, things are getting good around here. Things are getting laxed around here. Look, you can even grow a beard. Look, you could even wear pants." Or you're gonna have, just like Crystal's mom and dad, who are so set in their ways and they've lived with this decision, right? It's almost like that sunk cost fallacy. Well,
Yep.
we've been ignoring her for this long. What kind of person am I if the governing body is giving and saying I can't, like, they're hitting that cognitive dissonance wall, and they get
Yeah.
uncomfortable and they just shut down their thinking brain and they just stick with what they know because they're so uncomfortable.
But just remember one thing though. This is a big point too from that governing body update. When it comes to people that are known apostates,
Oh
they're
yeah,
still to
that
treat
part.
you just like the piece of shit you are.
Dude, I love how they just honed in, like, after all that
Like,
and saying how they're such a kind organization and how we're moving into this new light and how to, show Jehovah's mercy through more conversations versus, like, making harsh decisions, and then literally they wrap it all up with, "But you know who is wicked?
yeah, exactly.
Those damned apostates. It's probably all of their fault anyway."
And see, I actually am a known apostate to my in-laws too. They know about my YouTube channels.
Do you think that's Do you think that's why they ignored Crystal? Or
I
no,
hope I
probably not, honestly. I don't
she's
think
not the one
so.
on the YouTube channels like me.
No, exactly, so I don't see how that
So they
should
have absolutely no goddamn reason to apply that to her.
and especially because if she's following the rules of the headship, you're the husband and you can do what you want, she can do her best as the wife, but she has to be submissive, so, in fact, they should not hold that against her if you're doing something they don't like.
And I say fuck those rules anyways. But
That's what I
exactly.
say.
But see, my wife and I had a conversation about it before we went, and I said to her, how do you feel about it? Trying to judge her so I could do what I had to do to help her get through it emotionally and all that
Yeah,
the best I could.
I
And
appreciate
she
that.
and she just she blew me away with what she said though. She said, "You know what? We live a good life. We have nothing to be ashamed of in what we're doing. So who cares? They're going to do what they're
Good,
going to do anyways." And I'm like, "You're
good.
absolutely right. I agree with you. However, I just wanted to know how I needed to be there for you."
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what you should do, and the door's open, and if it hits her differently one day because, that's the kind of thing, like, that can change day to day, like, people miss their parents, like, this it's a natural thing to wanna have a relationship with them, right? It's inhuman and unnatural to have to be separated from your mom and dad, so one day it might not bother her, the next day it might hurt.
Yeah, exactly, Ken. What a great witness they gave to all the worldly people at the funeral. Yeah.
Right, like, d is this the face? Is the face of your religion? Is that what you tell people at the door? Like, "Hey, join our religion, and if your kids don't listen, you can disassociate from them."
Well, see, I actually mentally gave them the benefit of the doubt on this too because of being with all the family, I figured they might be a little bit more cordial to us, at least, not giving us big hugs and all that, but I thought they might have been a little bit cordial and talk to us because of the family. Because I know my father in law wants to put on that face in front of people as if he's, this good person.
Right.
But he really showed his hand the other day, which really kind of surprised me in a way because I really thought he would put on a face for everybody else.
Nope, just shows you how unloving the disfellowshipping provision is, especially
Oh
since
yeah.
they have to soften it. And I think, I saw this morning a tweet from Larchwood, because, this wasn't how the religion always was. This is something that they started one day for whatever reason, that set them off that they needed to start putting the fear of God into people from leaving. And the reasons and the scriptures that they used for why they shouldn't be disfellowshipping were then exactly spun on their head into the reasons why you should. So, and they're doing the same thing. The scriptures they used before, they're now unwinding the I forget shit. It's Timothy and Corinthians that they use. But, Timothy is laughable because we don't even know who wrote that book, and there's no dude named Timothy, and it was written
To
so late. Anywho.
to answer your question, Noel, yes, they know I make videos, so yes. But for what you're saying, Ryan, what I get a big kick out of is when they start talking about the scriptures and they go, well, if you look at the context, like, isn't that what you're supposed to be doing anyway? Like,
Yeah,
how
that's your
how
whole
the hell are
shtick.
you how the hell are you missing the context of any of this if you're just now getting to the context of it? Like, I mean, I
Right.
know
That's
why, but
supposed to be part of it. That is something that they drone on about regularly, that they are the
yeah,
kind of religion that looks at the context. They don't just pick and choose Bible verses and
yeah,
string them together. And
which
then literally you've shown your hand again.
yeah,
Like,
because when you
this whole
say
situation,
because when you say when you look at the context, that means you didn't
you
look at it
haven't.
before. You were
Right.
just cherry picking.
Especially if you're using the same scriptures. That's just
Yeah,
proof. And the
like
fact that women can now wear pants is just like, okay, that's great. I'm so glad. I would have loved that as a teenager. But it is just proof at the levels of control and micromanaging that this organization has over people, that they can even tell you how to dress on a regular basis. Absolutely disgusting. And we're talking about disabled people, young, old. Like, it might not be comfortable to wear certain clothing, but you have to because of how it looks. You need to be
yeah.
like business savvy.
Oh, I know. It's just so crazy. So fucking crazy.
But
Anyways,
it's funny how the Jehovah's Witnesses won't realize, because they're so indoctrinated. They'll just see this as a good thing. The changes as, Jehovah showing his loving mercy as they continue. That's why they kept throwing that word around, loving mercy and compassion.
yep.
And they'll never question all the years of abuse that they've taken and then that they've put on people, their family members, because of that horrible advice.
Yes. So, anyways, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the show here because we could go on about this for ever on this subject because this is just you want to just grab these idiots by the neck and smack them upside their head, you know? Again,
Shut up.
would you quit it, guys?
Ken is trying to talk, and all you want to do is interrupt because you think you know
God.
better.
You guys just need to just listen, y'all. Get back to your goddamn pamphlets right now. Right now.
Go.
1, 2. Thank you. Goddamn children, I swear to God.
You have to show your loving mercy sometimes. And I think you were very merciful because you didn't rain down balls of fire.
No, I did not. And I gave him fair warning too.
Yeah, you warned them before you
That's
killed them.
right.
You're just like Israel. I'm going to warn you before I drop bombs on you. And Jehovah did the same. Isn't that loving? Mommy. It'll never not be funny. It's never not going to be funny. I think
Mommy.
I think there's other ones we need to add too. So y'all make sure you tell us in Discord.
Yeah, I want to get one. The governing body has decided.
Oh, I have another idea for the set as well.
Okay.
I'll tell you back behind closed doors, so that way
Behind closed doors.
so we can surprise the audience next week.
Tell me in the back doors. Okay.
Right? It is so completely opposite of each
Yeah.
other. And
Yeah.
especially again, since what held it all together in the middle were the same scriptures. Like, they're literally just flipping the coin, and now those scriptures prove, because you're using the context, which we never used before, that it's okay to greet people, because before greeting meant eating with somebody, not actually saying hello so you can invite them to the meeting. Fuck
Sam,
me.
so nice to have you back here, buddy. Yes, thank you for that reminder. Everybody, please hit the like button and subscribe and share if you
Governing
are
body,
able
you're
to.
supposed to be reminding people. Like, seriously, what are we even paying you for?
I know, right? I mean, where are our voluntary funds going to?
And on that note,
Yes. On that note,
we love you all so much. And
yes.
I would like to wrap up saying that there's going to be so much emotions from this revelation. And I want you to know that we are here with you. We feel it. We feel those highs. We feel those lows. We get it. And that is the point of having this community, because we just get it. When the world doesn't understand, we do. So we love you. We see you. We hear you. And, here's for a brighter future. We just got to keep pushing for change. It's working. It might not be
Yeah.
exactly how we want it, but it is happening, right? The consequences of Norway are starting to unfold, and it's going to happen worldwide if we just keep pushing.
And if we can keep on pushing harder, because we got something in the Netherlands coming up. So we're going to be keeping our eyes on that. And as well as every other story we can get for you. So this stuff is working and we can see proof. Like Ryan said, it might not be the pace we want it, but just remember, we as apostates are always ahead of Jehovah's chariot.
It's on the move, and
That's
we got to
right.
be fast.
And we're the ones that are moving it.
That's right. If in fact
So-
we're probably, I'm just trying to pull it off the damn ledge.
Yeah.
Can we just like run up and then just move out of the way as the chariot?
And by ledge, she means a Grand Canyon sized ledge, y'all.
Yeah, the deepest we can find.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So, or a black hole will work too.
Oh, black hole, wormhole, send them to another universe. Okay, sure.
Well, I say a black hole because there is no escaping from a black hole.
Well,
On that note,
love you.
with Ryan's Dirty Mind, love you all. Have a great week. We will see you next week. And apostate your way, everybody.
Listen, obey, and be blessed.
That's
Bye.
right. Bye.